Ray. What do you want to do tonight?
Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
The enigma of thought, unveiling the unseen forces that shape our reality. In the vast tapestry of existence, there lies a force so ubiquitous yet so enigmatic that it has captivated the minds of sages, scientists, and seekers for millennia. This force, both intimate and infinite, is none other than thought itself. As we embark on this exploration of the power of thoughts as energy and their potential to influence the very fabric of our reality, perhaps even the capricious dance of weather patterns, we step into a realm where the boundaries between the physical and the metaphysical blur, where the observer and the observed become inextricably intertwined. Imagine, if you will, a universe not of cold, inert matter, but of vibrant, pulsating energy, a cosmic ocean of consciousness in which our individual minds are but droplets, connected to the whole in ways our everyday perception fails to grasp. This is the worldview that has been whispered through the ages by mystics and is now finding curious parallels in the cutting-edge discoveries of quantum physics. As we delve deeper into this exploration, we will traverse the misty frontiers of human knowledge, where ancient wisdom and modern science converge in a dance of revelation. We will peer into the quantum realm, where particles flicker in and out of existence like thoughts in a meditator's mind. We will contemplate the weather, that ever-changing canvas of sky and cloud, and dare to ask if our collective psyche might be painting upon it in ways we are only beginning to fathom. This journey is not for the faint of heart nor the rigidly skeptical. It demands an open mind, a willingness to suspend disbelief, and a courage to face the possibility that we, as conscious beings, may be far more powerful and far more responsible than we have ever imagined. Let us then, with both intellectual rigor and intuitive openness, embark on this odyssey into the heart of thought itself. Ancient wisdom. Thoughts as creative forces. Long before the advent of modern science, ancient civilizations across the globe harbored a profound understanding of the creative power of thought. From the mystical traditions of the East to the esoteric schools of the West, a common thread emerges: the recognition of thought as a fundamental force in shaping reality. In the hallowed halls of ancient Egypt, the concept of Heka reigned supreme. More than mere magic, Heka represented the activation of the Ka, or vital essence, through the power of focused thought and speech. The hieroglyphs themselves were considered living symbols, capable of affecting reality when properly activated by the initiated mind. The pharaohs and high priests of Egypt understood that to name a thing was to give it power, and to think a thought was to sow the seeds of its manifestation. Halfway across the world, in the mist-shrouded mountains of ancient China, Taoist sages spoke of the Tao, the ineffable source of all being. They taught that one's thoughts and intentions could align with or disrupt the natural flow of the Tao. Through practices like Qigong and meditation, these masters claimed to influence not only their own bodies, but the very forces of nature around them. Stories abound of Taoist adepts who could summon rain in times of drought or clear storms with the power of their focused will. In the sun-baked lands of India, the concept of Maya, the illusion of the material world, took center stage in Vedantic philosophy. The ancient rishis taught that our perceived reality is but a projection of consciousness, with our thoughts acting as the film through which the light of pure awareness shines. The Upanishads declare, "You are what your deepest desire is. As your desire is, so is your intention. As your intention is, so is your will. As your will is, so is your deed. As your deed is, so is your destiny." This profound statement encapsulates the belief that our thoughts shape our actions, which in turn shape our reality. The Hebrew tradition speaks of the creative power of divine speech in the opening lines of Genesis, where God creates the world through utterances, "Let there be light." This concept of creation through word and thought is mirrored in the mystical tradition of Kabbalah, which teaches that the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet are the building blocks of creation, each containing cosmic creative force. Even in the pre-Columbian Americas, we find echoes of this universal wisdom. The Hopi people of North America have long maintained that their thoughts and ceremonies are essential in maintaining the balance of the natural world. Their rain dances are not mere supplications to capricious deities, but focused collective thoughts aimed at bringing harmony between the people and the forces of nature. As we survey these ancient traditions, a common understanding emerges. That thought is not merely a passive observer of reality, but an active participant in its creation. These wisdom keepers of old intuited what modern quantum physics is only beginning to suggest: that consciousness and the material world are intimately linked, that the observer affects the observed, and that reality itself may be more plastic, more responsive to our inner states than we have dared to believe. But how can we reconcile these age-old insights with our modern scientific worldview? To bridge this gap, we must turn our gaze to the frontier of contemporary physics, where the very nature of reality is being questioned in ways that would have made even the most visionary ancient sage marvel. The esoteric view, consciousness as the fabric of reality. As we delve deeper into the esoteric understanding of thought and its relation to the physical world, we encounter a paradigm that turns our conventional view of reality inside out. In this mystical perspective, consciousness is not a byproduct of material processes in the brain, but rather the fundamental substrate of all existence. Imagine, if you will, a vast cosmic ocean of consciousness, infinite, timeless, and all-encompassing. This primordial awareness is not empty, but teeming with potential, a field of pure possibility from which all phenomena arise. In this view, the physical universe, with its galaxies, stars, planets, and myriad forms of life, is but the surface ripples on this deep sea of mind. The esoteric traditions speak of this ultimate reality in various terms: the Akashic field, the cosmic mind, the absolute, or simply the one. Whatever the name, the essence remains the same: a unified field of consciousness that is the source and substance of all that is. Within this paradigm, our individual minds are not isolated entities trapped within the confines of our skulls. Rather, they are localized expressions of the universal consciousness, like whirlpools in the cosmic ocean. Our thoughts, then, are not mere electrochemical signals confined to our brains, but vibrations in this all-pervasive field, ripples that extend far beyond our physical forms. This esoteric view posits that the power of thought lies in its ability to create patterns or forms within this field of consciousness. These thought forms, once created, persist and can influence the manifestation of physical reality. In essence, we are constantly shaping our experience through the quality and focus of our thoughts, whether we are aware of it or not. The Hermetic axiom, as above, so below, as within, so without, encapsulates this principle. It suggests that the microcosm of our inner world is a reflection of the macrocosm of the universe, and vice versa. Our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs create a template in the subtle realms that then precipitates into physical experience. This concept finds expression in various esoteric systems. In the Kabbalah, for instance, creation is seen as a process of emanation from the divine source, Ein Sof, through various levels of reality, the Sephiroth, until it manifests in the physical world, Malkuth. Each level is a more concrete expression of the thought or intention originating in the higher realms. Similarly, in Hermeticism, the principle of mentalism states that the all is mind, the universe is mental. This doesn't mean that the physical world is an illusion in the sense of being unreal, but rather that it is mental in nature, a projection or expression of cosmic thought. The implications of this worldview are profound and far-reaching. If consciousness is indeed the foundation of reality, and if our individual consciousness is connected to this greater whole, then the power of our thoughts extends far beyond the confines of our personal lives. Our mental states, our focused intentions, our collective beliefs, all of these may be influencing the very fabric of reality in ways we are only beginning to understand. But how can we reconcile this esoteric perspective with our scientific understanding of the world? Is there any point of convergence between these seemingly disparate worldviews? To answer these questions, we must turn our attention to one of the most revolutionary and perplexing areas of modern science: quantum theory. Quantum theory, a bridge between science and mysticism. As we stand at the threshold between the esoteric and the scientific, quantum theory emerges as an unexpected mediator, a scientific framework that, in its profound strangeness, seems to echo the insights of ancient mystics. This branch of physics, born in the early 20th century, has forced us to radically reconsider the nature of reality, challenging our most basic assumptions about the world we inhabit. At its core, quantum theory deals with the behavior of matter and energy at the most fundamental levels. What it reveals is a reality far removed from our everyday experience, a realm where particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously, where distance seems to hold no meaning, and where the very act of observation can alter the outcome of an experiment. One of the most startling aspects of quantum theory is the principle of superposition. This principle states that a quantum system can exist in multiple states at once, only collapsing into a definite state when observed or measured. This bizarre phenomenon is famously illustrated by Schrödinger's cat thought experiment, where a hypothetical cat in a sealed box is both alive and dead until the box is opened and the cat's state is observed. This principle of superposition bears a striking resemblance to the esoteric concept of potential realities existing in a field of pure possibility, waiting to be collapsed into manifestation by consciousness. Just as the mystic sees the power of thought as selecting and manifesting one reality from a sea of possibilities, so does the quantum physicist see the act of observation as determining the final state of a quantum system. Another quantum phenomenon that seems to bridge the gap between science and mysticism is entanglement. This is a state where two particles become correlated in such a way that the quantum state of each particle cannot be described independently, even when the particles are separated by a large distance. Einstein famously referred to this as spooky action at a distance, as it seemed to violate our intuitive understanding of cause and effect. Entanglement suggests a deep interconnectedness in the fabric of reality, resonating with the esoteric view of a unified field of consciousness underlying all of existence. It hints at a world where separation is an illusion, where everything is fundamentally connected at a level beyond our everyday perception. The role of the observer in quantum mechanics is perhaps its most profound and controversial aspect. The double-slit experiment, a cornerstone of quantum theory, demonstrates that the mere act of observation can change the behavior of particles from waves to particles. This has led some physicists to suggest that consciousness itself plays a crucial role in the formation of reality, a notion that aligns closely with esoteric teachings about the creative power of thought. Renowned physicist John Wheeler proposed the concept of a participatory universe, suggesting that the act of observation not only affects the present state of particles, but might even influence their past. This radical idea implies that consciousness is not merely a passive observer of an objective reality, but an active participant in the creation of that reality. These quantum concepts, superposition, entanglement, and the role of the observer seem to echo the esoteric understanding of reality as fundamentally mental, interconnected, and responsive to consciousness. They suggest a universe that is not deterministic and mechanical, but fluid, interconnected, and in some sense alive with possibility. However, it's crucial to note that while these parallels between quantum theory and esoteric thought are intriguing, they are not direct equivalences. Quantum effects are typically only observable at the subatomic level and do not necessarily translate directly to macroscopic phenomena like weather patterns. The challenge lies in understanding how these quantum principles might scale up to influence the world of our everyday experience. As we continue our exploration, we will delve deeper into specific quantum concepts and their potential implications for the power of thought and its influence on physical reality. We will examine the observer effect in more detail, explore the concept of quantum field theory, and consider how these ideas might relate to the notion of thoughts influencing weather and other macroscopic phenomena. In doing so, we tread a fine line between speculation and scientific rigor, between the visionary insights of esoteric wisdom and the empirical demands of modern science. It is in this liminal space where the known meets the unknown that new paradigms are born and our understanding of reality expands. The observer effect. Consciousness collapses, wave functions. As we venture further into the quantum realm, we encounter a phenomenon that has puzzled physicists and philosophers alike: the observer effect. This principle, central to quantum mechanics, suggests that the very act of observation can influence the behavior of quantum systems. It's a concept that seems to blur the line between subject and object, between the observer and the observed, hinting at a deep, intrinsic role of consciousness in the fabric of reality. The most famous illustration of the observer effect is the double-slit experiment. In this experiment, particles, such as electrons or photons, are fired at a screen with two slits. When no observation is made, the particles behave like waves, creating an interference pattern on the screen behind the slits. However, when the particles are observed to determine which slit they pass through, they behave like particles, creating two distinct bands on the screen. This bizarre behavior suggests that the particles exist in a state of superposition, both wave and particle, until the act of observation causes this superposition to collapse into a definite state. It's as if the particle's nature is undetermined, existing in a cloud of probability until consciousness intervenes through the act of measurement. The implications of this are profound. If observation can influence the behavior of quantum particles, what does this say about the nature of reality itself? Some interpretations of quantum mechanics, such as the Copenhagen interpretation, posit that reality at the quantum level is inherently probabilistic and only becomes definite when observed. Physicist John Wheeler took this idea even further with his participatory anthropic principle, suggesting that observers are essential to the very existence of the universe. In his words, we are participators in bringing into being not only the near and here, but the far away and long ago. This perspective resonates deeply with esoteric teachings about the creative power of consciousness. Just as the mystic sees thought as a force that shapes reality, the quantum physicist sees observation as a crucial factor in determining the behavior of the quantum world. But how might this principle apply to macroscopic phenomena like weather patterns? While quantum effects are typically only observable at the subatomic level, some theorists propose that these effects could scale up to influence larger systems through a process of amplification. For instance, meteorologist Edward Lorenz's work on chaos theory and the butterfly effect demonstrated how tiny changes in initial conditions could lead to vastly different outcomes in complex systems like weather. Could the observer effect at the quantum level be the proverbial butterfly's wings, setting off a chain of events that culminates in macroscopic changes? Some researchers have proposed that consciousness might interact with quantum fields, creating ripples that propagate and influence physical systems on a larger scale. While highly speculative, such ideas provide a potential mechanism for how focused thought or intention might influence phenomena like weather. Moreover, the observer effect challenges our notion of an objective, independent reality. If the act of observation can influence quantum systems, it suggests a participatory universe where consciousness plays an active role in shaping reality. This aligns with the esoteric view of a mental universe, responsive to thought and intention. However, it's crucial to approach these ideas with both open-mindedness and critical thinking. While the observer effect is a well-established principle in quantum mechanics, its interpretation and implications remain subjects of debate in the scientific community. The leap from quantum effects to macroscopic phenomena like weather patterns is a significant one, requiring careful consideration and empirical investigation. As we continue our exploration, we'll delve into other concepts that might bridge the gap between thought energy and physical reality, including morphic resonance and the Global Consciousness Project. These areas of inquiry, while often on the fringes of mainstream science, offer intriguing possibilities for understanding the potential power of collective thought and its influence on the world around us. Morphic resonance. Thoughts. Shaping fields of information. And as we continue our journey through the intersection of esoteric wisdom and cutting-edge science, we encounter a fascinating concept that attempts to explain how thoughts might influence physical reality: morphic resonance. Proposed by biologist Rupert Sheldrake, this hypothesis suggests that there exist invisible fields of information that shape the development and behavior of systems throughout nature, from crystals to living organisms to social groups. Sheldrake's theory posits that these fields, which he calls morphic fields, contain information that influences the form and behavior of systems. These fields are shaped by past forms and behaviors and can influence future forms and behaviors through a process he terms morphic resonance. In the context of our exploration of thought as energy, morphic resonance offers a provocative framework for understanding how thoughts might influence physical reality, including potentially weather patterns. According to this theory, thoughts and intentions could be seen as creating or influencing morphic fields. These fields would then carry information that could affect physical systems not through direct energetic interaction, but through resonance, a kind of informational tuning. Sheldrake suggests that these fields operate across space and time, which could explain phenomena like collective consciousness, shared intuitions, and even the sense of being stared at. In the realm of weather influence, one might speculate that concentrated thoughts or intentions related to weather could create or modify morphic fields that then influence atmospheric conditions. While highly controversial and not accepted by mainstream science, morphic resonance does offer some intriguing parallels with both esoteric concepts and some aspects of quantum theory. The idea of invisible fields carrying information resonates with the esoteric notions of the Akashic records or the collective unconscious. It also bears some similarity to the concept of quantum fields in physics, although the mechanisms proposed are quite different. Sheldrake's theory also aligns with the esoteric principle of as above, so below, suggesting that patterns and information at one level of reality can influence similar patterns at other levels. This resonates with the idea that our thoughts and intentions might influence larger systems like weather patterns. Critics of morphic resonance argue that it lacks empirical evidence and a clear mechanism of action. However, proponents point to various experiments and observations that they claim support the theory, including studies on collective behavior in animals and humans. One intriguing area of research that might relate to morphic resonance is the study of water memory. Some researchers claim that water can retain information about substances it has been in contact with, even after those substances have been diluted to the point where no molecules remain. While highly controversial, this concept suggests a potential mechanism for how information, such as that carried by thoughts, might be stored and transmitted in physical systems like the atmosphere. The concept of morphic resonance, while speculative, offers a thought-provoking framework for considering how thoughts might influence physical reality. It suggests a universe that is fundamentally interconnected, where information flows freely across space and time, and where consciousness plays a crucial role in shaping the world around us. As we continue our exploration, we'll examine how these ideas of interconnectedness and collective influence might manifest on a global scale, looking at phenomena like collective consciousness and its potential effects on large-scale systems like weather. Collective consciousness, the power of mass thought. As we delve deeper into the potential influence of thought on physical reality, we encounter a concept that amplifies this idea to a global scale: collective consciousness. This notion suggests that the combined thoughts, emotions, and intentions of large groups of people can create a kind of shared mental field that can influence events in physical reality. The idea of collective consciousness has roots in various philosophical and sociological traditions. Emile Durkheim, a founding figure in sociology, used the term to describe the shared beliefs and moral attitudes that operate as a unifying force within society. In the realm of psychology, Carl Jung proposed the concept of the collective unconscious, a deep layer of the psyche shared by all humans, containing archetypes and inherited patterns of thought. From an esoteric perspective, collective consciousness is often seen as a more literal phenomenon, a field of shared thought and intention that can directly influence physical reality. This view aligns with the concept of the noosphere, proposed by Vladimir Vernadsky and further developed by Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, which posits a global sphere of human thought, analogous to the atmosphere or biosphere. In the context of our exploration of thoughts influencing weather, the concept of collective consciousness offers a potent framework. It suggests that the combined thoughts and intentions of large groups of people could potentially create a powerful field of influence capable of affecting large-scale physical systems like weather patterns. This idea finds some resonance in certain indigenous practices, such as rain dances or ceremonies to influence weather. These rituals often involve entire communities focusing their intentions collectively, which from the perspective of collective consciousness could be seen as creating a powerful thought form or intention field. Some researchers have attempted to study the effects of collective consciousness empirically. The Global Consciousness Project, run by the Institute of Noetic Sciences, uses a network of random number generators placed around the world to look for patterns that might indicate the influence of collective human consciousness on these systems during major global events. While the results of such studies are controversial and not widely accepted by the mainstream scientific community, they do raise intriguing questions about the potential power of mass thought and intention. The concept of collective consciousness also aligns with certain interpretations of quantum theory, particularly the idea of quantum entanglement scaled up to macroscopic levels. Some theorists have proposed that human consciousness might be quantum entangled, creating a kind of quantum coherence across large populations. While highly speculative, such ideas provide potential mechanisms for how collective thought might influence physical systems. From this perspective, one might imagine global weather patterns as being subtly influenced by the collective mood or focus of humanity. Periods of global tension or conflict might be reflected in turbulent weather, while times of widespread peace or collective focus on environmental healing might correlate with more balanced climate conditions. However, it's crucial to approach these ideas with critical thinking and scientific skepticism. While the concept of collective consciousness is intriguing and aligns with many esoteric traditions, empirical evidence for its direct influence on physical systems like weather remains elusive. As we continue our exploration, we'll look at some specific experiments and anecdotes that have attempted to demonstrate the influence of thought on matter, as well as considering the ethical implications of such potential power. Weather as a reflection of consciousness. Having explored the concepts of quantum interconnectedness, morphic resonance, and collective consciousness, we now turn our gaze to the sky, contemplating the provocative notion that weather might be a reflection of human consciousness. This idea, while far from mainstream scientific acceptance, offers a fascinating perspective on our relationship with the natural world and the potential reach of our thoughts and intentions. In many ancient and indigenous cultures, weather was seen not as a purely physical phenomenon, but as an expression of the spiritual or energetic state of the world and its inhabitants. Native American traditions, for instance, often view weather as a communication from the spirit world, responsive to human actions and intentions. Similarly, in various animistic beliefs, weather phenomena are seen as manifestations of nature spirits or deities, which can be influenced through ritual, prayer, or maintaining harmony with the natural world. From the perspective of our exploration, we might consider weather as a vast, complex system that could potentially be influenced by the equally vast and complex field of human consciousness. Just as a pond reflects the sky above it, could the atmosphere be reflecting, in some subtle way, the collective state of human thought and emotion? This idea aligns with the Gaia hypothesis, proposed by James Lovelock and Lynn Margulis, which suggests that the Earth functions as a self-regulating, complex system, maintaining conditions suitable for life. If we extend this concept to include human consciousness as an integral part of this system, we open up intriguing possibilities for how our thoughts might interact with global processes like weather. Some proponents of this view point to anecdotal correlations between significant human events and unusual weather phenomena. For instance, reports of sudden changes in weather coinciding with major historical events or mass meditations. While such correlations are far from scientific proof, they do spark the imagination and raise questions about potential connections between collective human experience and atmospheric conditions. From a more speculative scientific angle, one might consider the atmosphere as a sensitive, chaotic system, potentially responsive to subtle quantum influences. If human consciousness does indeed interact with quantum fields, as some theories suggest, could these interactions be amplified through atmospheric processes, ultimately influencing weather patterns? Another perspective comes from the concept of biofields, electromagnetic fields generated by living organisms. Some researchers propose that human emotions and mental states can affect these biofields, which in turn might interact with the Earth's electromagnetic field. Given the crucial role of electromagnetic phenomena in atmospheric processes, this presents another potential, albeit highly speculative, pathway for thought to influence weather. It's important to note that while these ideas are intriguing, they remain firmly in the realm of speculation. The immense complexity of weather systems, driven by a multitude of physical factors like solar radiation, ocean currents, and atmospheric composition, makes it extremely challenging to isolate any potential influence of human consciousness. Moreover, the idea of weather as a reflection of consciousness raises profound ethical questions. If our thoughts can influence weather, what responsibility do we bear for natural disasters? How do we reconcile individual thought influences with collective outcomes? These are weighty philosophical considerations that come with the territory of such empowering yet daunting concepts. As we continue our exploration, we'll look at some specific experiments and anecdotes that have attempted to demonstrate the influence of thought on matter, including weather phenomena. We'll also delve into the Global Consciousness Project, which aims to detect correlations between global events and subtle changes in physical systems. Through this journey, we tread a fine line between open-minded exploration and critical skepticism, always seeking to balance the visionary potential of these ideas with the rigor of scientific inquiry. For in this balance lies the potential for true breakthroughs in our understanding of consciousness and its place in the cosmos. Experiments and anecdotes. Thought influencing matter. As we continue our exploration of the potential influence of thought on physical reality, including weather, It's crucial to examine some of the experiments and anecdotes that have been put forward as evidence for this phenomenon. While many of these studies remain controversial and are not widely accepted by the mainstream scientific community, they offer intriguing glimpses into the possible interactions between consciousness and the physical world. One of the most famous experiments in this realm is the work of Dr. Masaru Emoto on water crystals. Emoto claimed that human consciousness could affect the molecular structure of water. In his experiments, he exposed water to different words, pictures, or music, and then froze it and examined the crystal structure. He reported that positive thoughts and emotions resulted in aesthetically pleasing crystal structures, while negative thoughts produced distorted, unattractive crystals. While Emoto's work has been criticized for lack of controls and potential bias, it has sparked considerable interest in the idea that human intention might influence physical matter at a molecular level. If such effects were real and could be scaled up, one could imagine how focused thoughts might influence larger bodies of water, potentially affecting weather patterns. Another relevant area of research is the field of psychokinesis, or mind-matter interaction. Researchers like Diane Radin and Robert Jahn have conducted experiments using random event generators, REGs, to test whether human intention can influence the output of these devices. Some of these studies have reported small but statistically significant deviations from chance, suggesting a possible influence of consciousness on physical systems. In the realm of weather influence, there have been numerous anecdotal reports and some attempted experiments. One notable example is the work of Wilhelm Reich with his Cloudbuster device. Reich claimed that this device could influence weather patterns by manipulating what he called orgone energy. While Reich's theories are not accepted by mainstream science, they represent early attempts to directly manipulate weather through consciousness-related means. More recently, groups like the International Consciousness Research Laboratories, ICRL, have conducted experiments attempting to influence weather patterns through collective meditation. These studies often involve groups of people focusing their intentions on specific weather outcomes. While the results of such experiments are generally inconclusive from a strict scientific standpoint, participants often report subjective experiences of connection and influence. There are also numerous anecdotal accounts of individuals or groups seemingly influencing weather. Many indigenous cultures have traditions of rain-making ceremonies, and there are reports from various spiritual traditions of adepts able to control weather. While such accounts are not scientific evidence, they contribute to the body of human experience, suggesting a potential link between consciousness and weather. One intriguing case study is that of the Vietnamese monk Tish Quang Duc, who self-immolated in 1963 as a protest against religious persecution. Eyewitnesses reported that despite the intense heat of the fire, the monk's heart remained intact, and that the sky darkened and a rain shower occurred immediately after his death. While such accounts can be explained through natural means, they fuel speculation about the potential power of highly focused consciousness. In the realm of more controlled experiments, researcher Serge Kahili King conducted a series of weather modification experiments in Hawaii. These involved groups of people using mental techniques to attempt to influence cloud formations and rainfall. While the results were mixed, King reported some successes, particularly in dispersing cloud cover. It's crucial to approach these experiments and anecdotes with a critical eye. Many suffer from methodological issues, lack of proper controls, or potential experimenter bias. The challenge in studying these phenomena lies in creating rigorous, repeatable experiments that can isolate the potential effect of consciousness from the myriad other factors influencing complex systems like weather. Moreover, even if some of these effects are real, questions remain about their magnitude and consistency. Are they strong enough to significantly influence large-scale weather patterns? Can they be reliably produced and controlled? As we continue our exploration, we'll look at larger scale attempts to detect the influence of collective consciousness on physical systems, particularly the Global Consciousness Project. This ambitious endeavor seeks to find correlations between global events and subtle changes in physical systems, potentially offering insights into the broader influence of human consciousness on the world around us. The Global Consciousness Project, measuring collective thoughts. As we delve deeper into the potential influence of collective human consciousness on physical reality, we encounter an ambitious and controversial research initiative known as the Global Consciousness Project, GCP. This long-running experiment, initiated by Dr. Roger Nelson at Princeton University, aims to detect correlations between global events and subtle changes in physical systems, potentially offering empirical evidence for the impact of collective human attention and emotion on the material world. The GCP operates on the hypothesis that events which elicit widespread human emotional or attentional response might create a coherence in the global field of consciousness, which in turn could affect physical random systems. To test this hypothesis, the project maintains a global network of random number generators, RNGs, placed at various locations around the world. These RNGs, based on quantum tunneling effects, produce a continuous stream of random bits. Under normal circumstances, the output of these devices should be purely random. However, the GCP looks for deviations from randomness that correlate with major global events. Things like natural disasters, terrorist attacks, celebrations, or mass meditations. The underlying theory suggests that during times of widespread focused attention or strong collective emotion, the usually random output of these devices might become slightly more ordered or coherent. This ordering effect, if real, would suggest a direct interaction between collective human consciousness and physical systems. Over its years of operation, the GCP has reported finding small but statistically significant deviations from expected randomness during certain global events. For example, they claim to have detected anomalies in the RNG network during events like the September 11 attacks, major earthquakes, and New Year's Eve celebrations. While these results are intriguing, they remain highly controversial within the scientific community. Critics argue that the effects reported are extremely small, and question the statistical methods used to analyze the vast amounts of data generated by the project. There are also concerns about potential experimenter bias and the difficulty of establishing clear criteria for what constitutes a global event that should produce an effect. Despite these criticisms, the GCP represents one of the most sustained attempts to empirically investigate the potential effects of collective consciousness on physical systems. If its findings could be consistently replicated and verified, it would have profound implications for our understanding of consciousness and its relationship to the physical world. In the context of our exploration of thoughts potentially influencing weather, the GCP offers an intriguing model. If collective human attention can indeed influence random physical systems, it's not a huge leap to consider that it might also influence more complex systems like weather patterns. Some researchers have speculated about potential mechanisms for how such influence might occur. One theory suggests that collective consciousness might interact with the Earth's geomagnetic field, which in turn could influence atmospheric conditions. Another posits that human biofields, when coherent on a large scale, might create subtle energy patterns that could affect weather systems. However, it's crucial to maintain a balance between open-minded exploration and scientific skepticism. While the GCP and similar research initiatives offer fascinating possibilities, the effects reported are subtle, and the mechanisms proposed remain highly speculative. Moreover, even if such effects are real, questions remain about their practical significance. Are they strong enough to meaningfully influence large-scale weather patterns? Can they be harnessed in any practical way? And what are the ethical implications of attempting to influence global systems through collective thought? As we continue our journey, we'll explore some of the practical applications that have been proposed for harnessing the power of thought, as well as the ethical considerations that come with such potential power. We'll also look at how these ideas might be integrated with more mainstream scientific understanding, potentially opening new avenues for research and discovery in the intersection of consciousness and the physical world. Meditation and weather, ancient practices, modern implications. As we continue our exploration of the potential influence of thought on weather, we encounter a practice that has bridged ancient wisdom and modern scientific inquiry: meditation. For millennia, various spiritual and esoteric traditions have claimed that deep states of meditation can influence the physical world, including weather phenomena. Now, in the 21st century, these age-old practices are being examined through the lens of scientific research, offering intriguing insights into the power of focus, the cosmic nature of words. In the beginning, there was the word. This concept, echoed in various creation myths across cultures, hints at a profound truth. Words are not mere sounds or symbols, but cosmic forces that shape reality itself. To truly grasp the power of words, we must first understand their nature at the most fundamental level. At their essence, words are vibrations, patterns of energy that ripple through the fabric of existence. When we speak, we are not simply moving air. We are creating waves of energy that interact with the world around us in ways both seen and unseen. These vibrations carry with them not just meaning, but intention, emotion, and the very essence of our consciousness. The ancient Vedic tradition speaks of Shabda Brahman, the cosmic sound from which all creation emerges. This primordial vibration, often represented by the sacred syllable Am, is believed to be the source of all manifestation. In this view, the entire universe is a symphony of vibrations, with each word we utter adding to this grand cosmic orchestra. Quantum physics, in its exploration of the fundamental nature of reality, has revealed a universe that is far stranger and more interconnected than we once believed. At the quantum level, the act of observation influences the behavior of particles. If our mere attention can affect the subatomic world, then surely our words, charged with intention and emotion, must have an even more profound impact. The concept of morphic resonance, proposed by biologist Rupert Sheldrake, suggests that there are invisible fields that shape the behavior and form of all living things. These fields are influenced by past forms and behaviors, creating a kind of collective memory. Could our words be influencing these fields, shaping not just our immediate environment, but the very patterns of life itself? When we consider words in this light, we begin to see that every utterance is an act of creation. Every thought that forms in our minds sends ripples through the quantum field of possibilities. We are, in essence, constantly casting spells, weaving reality with the threads of our thoughts and words. Thoughts, words, and plant consciousness. Now, let us turn our attention to the green realm, the kingdom of plants that surrounds us, silent yet ever present, seemingly passive yet deeply reactive to the world around them. For centuries, mystics and shamans have spoken to plants, sung to them, and believed in their ability to perceive and respond to human consciousness. What once was dismissed as mere superstition is now gaining credence in the light of scientific inquiry. Plants, though lacking a central nervous system, as we understand it, exhibit a form of intelligence that continues to baffle and inspire researchers. They communicate with each other through complex chemical signals, respond to touch and sound, and even demonstrate learning and memory. But can they truly perceive and respond to human thoughts and words? The work of Cleve Baxter, a polygraph expert, sparked controversy and fascination when he claimed to have detected an emotional response in plants using lie detector equipment. His experiments suggested that plants could react to human thoughts and intentions, even at a distance. While his methods have been questioned, his work opened the door to a new way of thinking about plant consciousness. More recent studies have shown that plants respond to sound vibrations, growing towards pleasant sounds and away from harsh ones. If sound can influence plant growth and behavior, then surely the vibrations of our words, carriers of intention and emotion, must have an impact as well. The concept of plant consciousness takes on new dimensions when we consider the work of researchers like Monica Galliano, who has demonstrated that plants can learn and remember despite lacking neurons or a brain. Her experiments with Mimosa pudica, the sensitive plant, showed that these plants could learn to distinguish between harmless and potentially harmful stimuli, retaining this knowledge for weeks. If plants possess such sophisticated awareness, is it not possible that they are attuned to the subtle energies of human thoughts and words? The tradition of talking to plants, long practiced by gardeners and nature enthusiasts, may be more than just a quaint habit. It may be a form of energetic communication, a dialogue between human and plant consciousness. In many indigenous cultures, plants are regarded as teachers and allies, possessing spirits and wisdom that can be accessed through ritual and communication. Shamanic traditions often involve direct dialogue with plant spirits, facilitated by altered states of consciousness. These practices suggest a deep, intuitive understanding of the interconnectedness of all life and the power of intention and word to bridge the gap between human and plant awareness. The idea that our thoughts and words can influence plant growth and well-being is not just a matter of plants responding to sound vibrations or chemical changes in their environment. It speaks to a deeper level of connection, a resonance between consciousness itself and the living world around us. When we speak to a plant with love and intention, we may be doing more than just making noise. We may be engaging in a form of telepathic communication, our consciousness reaching out to touch the awareness that resides within the plant. This perspective invites us to reconsider our relationship with the natural world. If our thoughts and words have the power to influence plant life, then we bear a great responsibility. Every negative thought, every harsh word may be sending ripples of discord through the living world around us. Conversely, our positive intentions, our words of love and appreciation may be nurturing and supporting the plants in ways we are only beginning to understand. The implications of this interconnectedness extend far beyond our gardens. If our consciousness can influence plant life, what effect might our collective thoughts and words be having on the global ecosystem? Could the current environmental crises be, in part, a reflection of our disconnected and often negative relationship with nature? And could a shift in our collective consciousness, expressed through our thoughts and words, play a role in healing our planet? Ancient cultural perspectives on word power. As we delve deeper into the mystical realm of word power, we find that ancient cultures across the globe have long recognized and revered the potency of speech and thought. These ancestral wisdom traditions offer us profound insights into the nature of reality and our role as co-creators through the power of our words. In Norse mythology, the god Odin sacrificed himself to gain the knowledge of the runes, the ancient Germanic alphabet. Runes were not just a writing system, but were believed to hold immense magical power. The practice of Galdr, magical chanting or singing, was based on the idea that properly intoned words could influence reality itself. The Vedic tradition of ancient India placed enormous emphasis on the power of sound. The concept of Vak, the divine word, is central to Vedic philosophy. Mantras, carefully constructed sound formulas, were seen as tools for aligning oneself with cosmic forces. The Vedas themselves were preserved orally for thousands of years. Such was the belief in the power of the spoken word. In Native American traditions, words are often seen as having the power to make things happen in the physical world. Many creation stories speak of the world being sung or spoken into existence. The Navajo concept of Hozho, which encompasses beauty, harmony, and balance, is maintained partly through the power of blessing ways and spoken prayers. These ancient perspectives share a common thread. the recognition that words and thoughts are not separate from the physical world, but are intrinsically linked to it. They understood what modern quantum physics is only now beginning to grasp, that consciousness and matter are intertwined, and that our words and thoughts have the power to shape reality, the subconscious mind and the power of words. As we turn our gaze inward, we encounter perhaps the most profound arena for the power of words, the landscape of our own minds. The subconscious mind, that vast, hidden realm beneath our waking awareness, is incredibly receptive to the power of words and thoughts. It is here that the true alchemy of transformation occurs, where words become the seeds of our reality. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It accepts and acts upon the thoughts and words we feed it, regardless of their objective truth. This is why affirmations and positive self-talk can be so powerful. They are programming instructions for our subconscious mind. When we speak or think, we are not just expressing ideas. We are creating mental images and emotional states. These, in turn, influence our beliefs, our behaviors, and ultimately, our experience of reality. The words we use to describe ourselves and our world become self-fulfilling prophecies, shaping our perception and our actions in subtle yet profound ways. The power of words to influence the subconscious mind has been recognized by mystics and sages throughout history. In the Hermetic tradition, the principle of mentalism states that the all is mind, the universe is mental. This suggests that our thoughts and words are not just personal phenomena, but are connected to and influential upon the greater cosmic mind. Modern psychology and neuroscience are now catching up to what ancient wisdom has long proclaimed. Studies have shown that the words we use can actually change our brain structure. Positive words and thoughts have been found to strengthen areas of the frontal lobe and promote cognitive function. Conversely, negative words and thoughts can increase activity in the amygdala, the fear center of the brain, leading to increased stress and anxiety. The implications of this are profound. Every word we speak or think is literally shaping our brain, our body, and our reality. We are, in a very real sense, talking ourselves into our experience of life. This understanding places a great responsibility on us to be mindful of our internal dialogue and the words we choose to use. As we navigate the mysterious realms of thought and word power, we find ourselves standing at the intersection of ancient wisdom and modern science. The esoteric traditions that have long proclaimed the magical properties of words are finding validation in the discoveries of quantum physics and neuroscience. Our thoughts and words, far from being mere expressions of our inner state, are active forces shaping our reality, influencing the world around us and even affecting the growth and well-being of plants. This understanding invites us to approach our thoughts and words with a new level of consciousness and responsibility. Every word we utter, every thought we entertain, is a spell cast upon the world and upon ourselves. As we cultivate awareness of this power, we open ourselves to the possibility of consciously co-creating our reality, nurturing our environment, and fostering harmony within ourselves and with the world around us. In the grand cosmic dance of creation, our thoughts and words are our instruments. Let us play them with wisdom, love, and intention, creating a harmonious of life that resonates with the highest vibrations of existence. Think peace, and you'll be peace. Think prosperous, and you'll become prosperous. Fill your consciousness with happy images, and you're bound to create a happy life. The power to create your very existence lies within you, for what you dwell on becomes your physical experience.